This is Jason Verney's podcast. I am Jason Verney. That music you can hear, or you heard, and you can probably hear, is actually from the Incheon reservoir in Gwangju. I wanted to record a very short one again, like the one I made yesterday. You can hear that music again. This is as I walk along the Uncheon reservoir, the kind of wooden bridge that basically goes all the way across it in various different sort of directions. And I wanted to just do a brief podcast because I arrived yesterday, Gwangju. I leave tomorrow. This was a flying visit, even shorter than last year. And although I mentioned in the last podcast that I recorded 3 episodes from Gwangju, there's only one the fourth one, which was kind of Gwangju revisited, was recorded and uploaded yesterday on Thursday. Today it's the 30th of June. I'm just going to walk under this music, the next speaker of the music. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. I've just eaten something rather quickly. Basically, I wanted to just record this after a day I've had, which has been pretty immense, even if at times it felt like it wasn't going anywhere. Essentially, apart from coming to Gwangju, because I promised to come to Gwangju every time I come to Korea now, whether I stick to that or not, as I said in the last episode, remains to be seen. But I wanted to come here and visit a friend, but also, I feel like I should have some connection with this city, as it's not always, it's kind of left out of the conversation with regards to Korean cities, and whether that's tourism or otherwise. But yeah, so today I went to Mokpo, as I wanted to go to, not to see the lovely sights that there are there, but to see the Sewol, both the ship, which is there, and also there's mosquitoes here, the memorial with the ribbons and everything. But I also wanted to do this episode because I called the last one Gwanggan in Busan, Gwanggan to Gwangju, and I wanted to call this episode, the sort of subtitle of it, or the title, will be Uncheon to Incheon, because essentially tomorrow I go to Seoul, Saturday the 1st, and ultimately I'll go to Incheon International Airport, but that won't be until Monday. But it is kind of heading home, if you like, heading home if Seoul is my home, or heading home as in the UK. Either way, it works in my opinion. So today I left Gwangju and I got a bus, 50-minute bus roughly, to get to Mokpo. Then you have to find the right bus. Actually, my friend, the one I met last night, who lives here in Gwangju, she helped tell me the bus number. And but at the same time, even though I had the bus number, the bus didn't seem to be coming from where it should be. The 900 bus, 900 bus, not far from Mokpo bus station. You have to just walk to another bus stop, and then there's a kind of a dedicated bus, but it includes Sewol area, where the harbour is, where the ship is, and where lots of people are volunteering, and the families are, I suppose you could say, camping out, even though they're in proper undercover places. Excuse me. So I wanted to go there, but not only that, I made it there. I had to get that second bus, but it was raining by then, and when I got off the bus, I thought, he's dropped me off, just me pretty much alone in the drizzle. I couldn't really use my camera much. Out of respect, I didn't want to use it too much. I didn't want to really indulge in filming the Sewol area. It's such a sad incident and tragedy that happened, as I've mentioned in other broadcasts. I didn't want to kind of overindulge with that and make a meal of it, and I just. But I got off and I thought, this isn't great. This is obviously, I was very happy to be there. At the same time, I thought I might be quite emotional. I walked down to the spot. There was some. Luckily, there's quite a few volunteers there. There's a place you can get coffee, so free coffee. You can pick up ribbons and leaflets and maps and all these kind of things. And also, I got talking to them later on in my visit after I'd been to take photos and had a look around and briefly seen the ship. I came back and they made me some noodles and they made me some food, basically. And it was pretty amazing. I got talking to them about what myself and other activists are involved with in London. So, comfort women, Gangjong, all these kind of things. But I didn't speak a great deal, but even so, they did. The rain kind of died off. I wandered off again to do some more sort of filming and just take some photos, either on my phone or my camera, and video clips. I even tried to record a video podcast, which I'm not sure if that will see the light of day, but various reasons. So that was great, but it wasn't great circumstances. It was great that I finally managed to go to Mokpo and see this and be so close to the memorial and so close to the ferry, I suppose, in a weird kind of way that had caused all these deaths and early ends of life and tragedy, basically, and travesty. But it was more the fact that and also after this somebody actually, rather than me wait for the 6:10 bus from that area and potentially wait in the rain, I don't know if it was going to rain anymore, but it kept going on and off. It's that season. It kept sort of stopping and starting, drizzling and a bit heavier drizzle and very wet rain, obviously. I will say you can see from the memorial area, you can see the Mokpo Bridge. I forget the name of it. Mokpo Dare is the word for bridge, I believe. And it actually looks really quite an interesting structure. But they actually offered in the end to give myself and this other person that was visiting a lift back to the city. And not only that, because I had expressed some of my interest, and we spoke about the statue in Seoul, my recent speech at the Japanese embassy, outside the Japanese embassy, and they dropped me off. They also stopped off to see the statue that exists of the comfort woman in Mokpo. So they didn't have to do that, but that was out of sheer kindness, and I guess they care for the subject. And then after that, it was time to make my way back to the bus station with this lady who was there. She was visiting from America. She's Korean, but she's lived in America for 30 years. But she visits every year pretty much to Korea, but I don't believe she had been to Mokpo or this area. So she made her way to Seoul. Ultimately, I made my way to Gwangju, which is where I am now. So that's it. But as I say, I wanted to title this episode Incheon to Incheon, because of the similarity of words like the previous podcast. So I'm probably going to leave it there. I just wanted to mention that and just say that I will be sort of heading back to Seoul, trying to meet many people in what will be the half of Saturday perhaps and all of Sunday, and then a flight will be Monday. I'm hoping to come back to Korea in October. Various conversations I've had, one or two conversations I've had with people. And also the Busan Film Festival, I'm sure I'll be back for that in October. Although I might be going to France in November to film something, but I need to find out about that. So that's it for now. I'm going to sort of sign off. As you can hear the traffic here in Gwangju. I'm going to go and meet my friend again, where she and her brother works. I think tonight might be their last time working at this restaurant, because it's kind of being I think it's being taken over, or they've sold it to somebody else, or sold the business or something. So I'm going to see them, and then tomorrow I head off. So I will say goodbye, and I'm wishing anyone who's listening all the best. Okay, adios.